Hi everyone, welcome to a new episode of Explore and Engage with Anam. The question that I'll ask at the very beginning of this episode is the following. Why do liberals want voting rights for non-citizens? You have to think about it. Think about it. Try to come up with an answer. Why do liberals want voting rights for non-citizens in the United States? My friends, do you think that there should be voting rights for non-citizens in the US? Why is this question even coming up? I believe that the answer is very simple. There should be no voting rights for non-citizens in America. Non-citizens should not be able to vote in local, state, or federal elections. Only citizens have the right to vote. Back in 2022, I wrote a blog post, and the title of the blog post is Prevent the Erosion of American Citizenship. Prevent the Erosion of American Citizenship. And if you want, you can go to my website, tausifanam.net, and you can check out my blog post. This was written back in 2022. And in that blog post, I wrote, the power of American citizenship depends on the right to vote. If the right to vote is extended to non-citizens, American citizenship will be eroded. So those are the words from my blog post. My friends, in New York City last year, the City Council approved a measure to allow non-citizens to vote in municipal elections. And Mayor Eric Adams supported this move. So what the City Council did was they approved a measure so that non-citizens could vote in municipal elections for the offices of mayor, comptroller, borough president, and council member, as well as local ballot initiatives. And this was supported by New York City Mayor Eric Adams. It is shocking to me to see how elected officials can support allowing non-citizens to vote in local elections. This is just unbelievable. We must note, for this discussion, we must note that non-citizens in this context means legal non-citizens, not illegal immigrants, okay? Legal non-citizens. But still, I think that only natural-born citizens and naturalized citizens should have the right to vote in US elections. Non-citizens, such as green card holders, should not be able to vote. Legal non-citizens should pursue US citizenship. And if non-citizens become US citizens through the process of naturalization, then after becoming US citizens, they can vote. The measure that the liberals approved in New York City in 2022 would have given approximately 800,000 non-citizens the right to vote in local elections. Now, thankfully, this measure was struck down by the Supreme Court in New York. So as of now, only citizens can vote in elections in New York City. In fact, if you go to the website of New York City, it says the following, and I'm quoting from the website of New York City government. At this time, non-citizens cannot vote in any New York City municipal election. An appeal filed by the City of New York through Mayor Eric Adams and the City Council is currently pending at the Appellate Division Second Department to review the decision by the Richmond County Supreme Court entered on June 27 of 2022. So that means as of now, non-citizens in New York City cannot vote in municipal elections. However, there are several places in America that permit non-citizens to vote in local elections. Not elections for federal offices, but local elections. But local politics is very important. Local elections are extremely important. And local elections matter a lot. And to prevent the power and to prevent the erosion of U.S. citizenship, non-citizens must not be allowed to vote in local elections. If you want to preserve the power of U.S. citizenship, if you want to prevent the erosion of the power of U.S. citizenship, then only citizens should be able to vote in local, state, and federal elections. There are a few places in Maryland and Vermont where the municipalities allow non-citizens to vote in local elections, and this, I believe, erodes the power of American citizenship. Now let's talk about a different topic. Related, but slightly different, okay? It's still connected. The Democrats want to turn U.S. citizenship into a handout. The liberals, they want to give U.S. citizenship to undocumented immigrants. And this means giving voting rights to undocumented immigrants by turning them into U.S. citizens. So the first part of the discussion was about whether non-citizens should be able to vote in elections, in U.S. elections. And as I said, that the liberals want to give the voting rights to non-citizens, legal non-citizens. But now we're talking about the Democrats' efforts to give a pathway to citizenship to undocumented immigrants. Now we're talking about illegal immigrants and how the liberals want to give the illegal immigrants a pathway to U.S. citizenship. And a pathway to U.S. citizenship also means a pathway to voting rights. If you don't believe what I'm saying, read my op-ed, which was published in the Western Journal in November of 2022. The exact date is November 26 of 2022. My op-ed was in response to Senator Chuck Schumer's proposal to give undocumented immigrants a pathway to U.S. citizenship. I have shared my thoughts in the op-ed that I wrote, and you can check it out. You can go to my website, tausifanam.net, and once you're on my website, there is a page called Published Opinions, and if you go to that page, then you'll see a list of my published opinions. And right now, I think there are 97 published opinions. You'll find links to those letters to editors and op-eds. So you can click on that link, and it'll take you to the page where my writing is published. Okay, so check out my op-ed in the Western Journal, published November 26th of 2022. As I've said before, giving undocumented immigrants the right to vote will be unfair. It'll be unfair towards the legal immigrants who come to this country through the proper immigration process. Many green card holders wait for years to become a citizen, and once they become U.S. citizens, they get the right to vote. Becoming a citizen is not an easy process. There are lots of paperwork involved, and people have to go through background check, and applicants for citizenship also need to successfully complete English and civics test. It's a long process, and law-abiding non-citizens, legal immigrants, they go through the process and become citizens. Every year, hundreds of thousands of individuals become naturalized U.S. citizens. But when you talk about undocumented immigrants, let me highlight this. This is a fact. Undocumented immigrants have broken the law. By entering the United States illegally, they have broken American immigration law. And so it does not make sense when Democrats say that they want a pathway to citizenship for undocumented immigrants. My friends, let me share with you that one of the happiest days of my life was when I took the oath of allegiance to become a United States citizen. And this was back in 2014. For anyone who is interested, please read the words of the oath of allegiance. Those are very powerful words, and you can search the oath of allegiance on the internet and you can read it. It's also available on the website of USCIS, which is United States Citizenship and Immigration Services. So read the oath of allegiance, read the powerful words. And non-citizens, when they go through the process of citizenship, when they are approved to become a U.S. citizen, they have to take the oath of allegiance, and then they become U.S. citizen. So you can read the oath of allegiance. Powerful, very powerful words. And the day I became a U.S. citizen, it was one of the happiest days of my life. My friends, share with me your thoughts on the issues that I discussed in this episode. I talked about liberal politicians and their desire to give voting rights to non-citizens for local elections. And I've also talked about how the liberals want to turn U.S. citizenship into a handout. The liberals, they want to give a pathway to U.S. citizenship to undocumented immigrants. And undocumented immigrants are different from law-abiding non-citizens, okay? Because law-abiding non-citizens are individuals who are here in the United States legally. They are non-citizens, but they are here legally. Whereas undocumented immigrants have broken U.S. immigration law by entering the United States illegally. And before I conclude, I'll say once again what I believe. I believe that the right to vote should only be for U.S. citizens. That could be natural-born U.S. citizens, and that could be naturalized U.S. citizens. U.S. citizenship is important, and only U.S. citizens, natural-born citizens and naturalized U.S. citizens, only U.S. citizens should have the right to vote in local, state, and federal elections in America. My friends, thank you for continuing to listen to my podcast. Please share with me your thoughts and comments. Once again, my website is tausifanam.net. You can go to my website and you can read my blog, you can read my published opinions, and you can also send me a message through my website. Thank you once again for continuing to listen to my podcast. I appreciate it very much, and I hope to be back again soon with a new episode of Explore and Engage with Anam.